The Cars mobile games are interesting. They range from okay, cool, to heck yeah. From reading games to city builders, an endless runner, a platformer, the Cars mobile games go to multiple places. And today, I'd like to talk about the most popular mobile games. But before we get started, if I could direct your attention to this graph showing how many of my viewers are subscribed. This graph looks a little skewed in a singular direction, right? So if you could just log into your Google account and subscribe, that'd be great. It motivates me to create new videos, and it gets my videos out there to more people. But before we start, I've got two things to say. First, I'm not talking about all the Cars mobile games. I'm sure there's some mobile games so obscure that not even I know about it. I also know that some Java exclusive mobile games exist, but quite frankly, I don't care enough to make a video about them. There are also some Disney mobile games that feature Cars characters, but I don't think that counts. That's like calling Super Smash Bros. Ultimate a Sonic game because Sonic is in it. Basically, if the Cars Wiki on Fandom lists the game as a mobile game, and is specifically a Cars game, I'm talking about it. Second, I won't be using my own footage for most of these games. Every Cars mobile game was delisted between the years of 2015 and 2020, so you can't download them from the App Store or Play Store anymore. You might think, oh well, I can download them from the internet. Well, you'd be wrong. Most of these games were iOS exclusive, so archiving these games and playing them is a pain in the butt. Well, what about the Android games, you may be asking? They have a different issue. Not all of the game data is stored within the APK, and you'll need to download the rest of the game at some point. However, you won't be able to because the game will be trying to download data from servers that don't exist anymore, so you can't download that data. Eventually, you'll be soft-locked. The only way to bypass this is to grab the OBB and put that folder where the game expects it to be, and not all the Cars games have their OBB archived. So because of that, I won't be using my own footage, and will instead be using footage from the internet. But, enough with all that, let's get on to the games. The first game I'd like to talk about is Cars 2 Appmates. It's a Toys to Life game where you have a lightning figure and you put it on your iPad and you use it to drive around. From the information I can find, you have a few races, and you have some weapons you can attach to your character. You can also get Finn, Mater, and Holly figures. Now you may be wondering why I'm showing a trailer of the game on YouTube, and that's because I can't find good footage of the game online, and again, I can't play it myself. This game seems like it'd be kinda good, but I don't know enough about it. The next game I want to talk about is Cars 2 for iOS. I briefly mentioned this game during my Cars 2 review, but I said absolutely nothing about that game besides the fact it's kinda crap. So, to remedy that, it's a platforming game with 3 levels: the oil rig, Japan, and Italy. You collect objects to get a bunch of points, and you have to jump around to progress. You also have some missions where you have to tilt the screen and move around, and that does not sound good. Overall, it seems fine. Pretty boring, but not really bad. This next game doesn't really count as a game. World Grand Prix Race is basically an ebook describing the events of Cars 2, but you also customize your own car. There don't seem to be many customization features, and the rest of the game is just an ebook, so it's a 4 out of 10. The next game is basically a ripoff of an already existing Cars game, Cars Hot Shot Racer. It's an isometric racer, very similar to Cars 1 on the GBA. You tap buttons on the corner of the screen to turn, and you go 3 laps around the track. It's pretty simple, and from the footage I saw, there isn't much to it. The next game is a game I really like, and it's one I actually played back when I was younger. Cars Daredevil Garage is a Toys to Life game where you scan in your die-cast figures and you can play as them in the game. The game has a massive selection of characters supporting nearly every car that was ever produced, besides the ones that came out after the game was discontinued. The gameplay is pretty simple, but pretty cool. You're on autopilot until you jump off a ramp. Then you have 3 tricks that appear, but you've got to pick the green one to get the most points. After the race is done, your points get tallied up, and you get up to 3 stars. Then, based on the number of stars you can get a new character. Again, simple, but the tricks are kinda cool and satisfying to pull off. Next is Cars Lightning League, another game I played when I was younger. It's basically an endless runner, like Sonic Dash, but you have 3 objectives to complete. When you complete them, you beat the levels. You can also drift, and you have to tap the screen on the white lines. Overall, this one seems fun, and it was pretty fun. Finally, I've saved the best for last. Cars Fast as Lightning. This was the mobile game I played most when I was younger, and I absolutely loved it. And think Hylia, Primus, Arceus. I can play this game. You may remember a few minutes ago when I said I can't play any of these games because they either weren't archived or weren't fully archived. Well, Fast as Lightning is the exception. Both the APK and OBB were archived, so I can play this game. Before we get started with the game, I should probably give you a tutorial on how to install this game on BlueStacks. But be warned, if you try this game on your phone and you're running Android 10 or newer, the game may not run properly, and on my Samsung A15, the game won't even install. But to get to the tutorial, first you want to download the APK and OBB. I'll have a Google Drive link in the description that contains both of these. Then install the app by using the APK. Then you'll want to install an app called ZArchiver. This app makes it a lot easier to navigate your phone's files. Extract the zip file to Android/OBB. If the OBB folder doesn't exist, then create it. And just to be safe, copy the folder you just extracted to Android/data. Then, once you do that, the game will be ready to play. And before you ask, yes, my mouse cursor is the Wii cursor. And to finally get to the game, it's pretty good. The gameplay is simple yet addicting and satisfying. You hold the gas pedal to accelerate, and around corners you'll see a blue circle appear. If you quickly let go of the pedal and tap it again on that circle, you'll gain a speed boost, and if you fail, you'll crash and lose some speed. Eventually, you'll reach a track set piece, and you'll need to swipe in the direction the game tells you to successfully perform a trick. If you succeed, you go through the set piece no problem. If not, you crash and lose a ton of speed. Again, simple yet satisfying. This game also has a city building aspect to it, that you can customize each track to your liking. You can choose what decorations to have around the track, and you can choose what set pieces to have around the track. Some tracks also have their own set pieces exclusive to them, like Mater tipping tractors and running from Trank, or Sheriff going around the Whalebone Motel. Honestly, it's really cool to see what exclusive set pieces a track may have, because they are always a highlight. However, you don't just customize the tracks, you can also customize Radiator Springs as a whole. You pick what decorations to put where, and you decide where all the buildings go. Each racer also has their own home, and you decide where that goes. Some racers even have a few buildings linked to them, like DJ, who has an office building and a party stage. You can also expand Radiator Springs and link it to different areas. Thanks to Bessie's hard work, you can also access a Dinoco stage, a gem mine, a car wash, and the movie theater. These places are also interactable to different extents. The Dinoco stage has daily missions, the gem mine mines gems for you, and the movie theater has movies to watch. Unfortunately, it kind of doesn't matter. The Dinoco stage doesn't have missions since the game went offline, the movie theater doesn't have any movies for the same reason, and the gem mine is unbearably slow. 3 hours for a single gem. Yeah, no thanks. Speaking of which, this game's economy really sucks. Everything has a cost, whether it be putting down a building, putting down a decoration, putting down a track set piece, unlocking an alternate costume, or just racing. Racing costs a tank of gas and you can only have 5 at a time, and going above that is extremely rare. As for everything else, it costs either coins or gems. Coins are the easiest currency to get, and you'll usually have around 10,000. However, that doesn't really matter since coins buy only a few select things, and everything costs around 1,000 coins. So that's where the gems come in. They unlock everything else, but you will always be broke when it comes to gems. You'll only have between 50 to 100, but everything costs a few hundred gems, and some characters cost 1,000 gems. And that's not something you can usually afford. Gems are really hard to come by, especially nowadays, since daily challenges don't exist anymore. The only way to get them is to just hope that you get one whenever a car completes an activity in the overworld. The main way to get gems is to spend real money, and even if I wanted to do that, I can't. Remember, the game is offline. And it gets worse in some cases where you will do activities that take a lot of time, and the only way to speed things up is by using gems. And they really want you to spend gems, because look at this estimation. One day? What did they expect me to do in that time? Go outside and get a girlfriend? No! I'm going to sit here and play a defunct mobile game for children, upload it to the internet, and then get 10 views, maybe 11 if I'm lucky. So yeah, it's a really predatory game that really wants either your time or money. However, there is a way around this. you can get a modded APK and get unlimited money, which is what I did. And don't worry, the modded APK will be in the description. Speaking of things that take time, upgrading and costumes. There are a lot of characters in this game, and you can do a little more than just playing as them. You can also upgrade them and get costumes for them. Upgrading them basically increases their top speed, and each character maxes out at level 110. Well, there are a few exceptions. Miguel Camino maxes out at level 116, and Blue Grit maxes out at level 107, but that's it. You can also get costumes. Each character has at least 2 alternate costumes, with the Baja Racers being the exception as they have no alternate costumes. Lightning actually has the most alternate costumes, with around 7 if I remember correctly. Each alternate costume also has its own name and gameplay benefit, like getting extra EXP from practice races or making starting boosts longer. And this game also has a campaign mode. Lightning has begun a track making extravaganza, and a ton of people are invited. Radiator Springs cars, some tuners, some World Grand Prix racers, the Baja Racers, and a few more. Everyone creates their own track, and you have to complete the current character's tournament before moving on to the next racer. Each character has 8 opponents, and you gotta beat them all. You can also do practice races that will unlock alternate costumes. Interestingly, this game also got some post-launch support. 2 updates released, an Ice update and a Neon update. The Ice update added Max Chanel, Pyotr Raisinov, and Long G. These 3 characters also got their own pits and racetracks. The Neon update added 2 new characters, Komodo and Yakoza. They also got pits and their own tracks, with Yakoza having the coolest track in the game. There's also one last minor update adding a few Baja racers, Blue Grit, I'm a Threat, and Shiny Sidewinder. You may wonder why I'm not showing any footage of that, and yeah, I don't have the space for that. I recorded everything up to me beating Lightning's tournament, but I didn't record any of the post-release characters and tracks. But that's about all I have to say on the Cars mobile games. They seem to be some amount of fun, and I can say myself that Lightning League, Daredevil Garage, and Fastest Lightning are a lot of fun. But overall, it's just kinda sad that these games aren't playable anymore. Maybe someone out there will decompile these games kinda like Sonic Runners, or make these games playable again in some form, or do something else to make these games more accessible. But for now, this is the best way to do it. Gotta say though, it won't be me decompiling these games, I'm far too stupid for that. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. Leave a comment telling me what you thought about this game, maybe another game I could cover, or what I could do better in a future video.